Hey there, welcome back to the channel. If you've been waiting for news about that $2,200 stimulus payment, I've got some important updates for you today. Banks across America are now getting ready to process these payments, with Monday deposits scheduled for Social Security, SSDI, SSI, and VA benefit recipients. This is not a drill, this is happening right now, and if you're one of the millions of Americans receiving government benefits, you need to know exactly what's coming your way and when to expect it. Stay with me because I'm going to break down everything about this stimulus payment, including who qualifies, when exactly you'll see the money hit your account, and what you need to do if your payment doesn't arrive when expected. In today's video, I'll first explain the details of this $2,200 stimulus payment and which government agencies are involved. Then I'll walk through the exact timeline for deposits, focusing on Monday's scheduled payments for benefit recipients. We'll look at what the Treasury Department and the SSA have officially announced, and I'll share some real stories of how this is affecting regular Americans. Finally, I'll give you my take on what this means for the economy and what you should be watching for in the coming weeks. Let's get right to it. This $2,200 payment is part of the latest economic relief package that was passed by Congress last month. Unlike previous stimulus payments that went out to most Americans, this one is specifically targeted at those who rely on fixed government benefits, including Social Security retirement, SSDI, SSI, and VA benefits. The payment was designed to help offset the rising costs that have been particularly hard on those with fixed incomes. The Treasury Department announced last week that they've begun the process of distributing these funds to financial institutions across the country. According to their press release, Secretary Janet Yellen stated, "We understand that Americans living on fixed incomes have been disproportionately affected by recent economic pressures. These targeted payments will provide meaningful relief to those who need it most." The Social Security Administration has confirmed that their systems are ready to handle the distribution, with Acting Commissioner Kilolo Kijakazi saying, "We've worked closely with the Treasury to ensure a smooth delivery of these important payments to our beneficiaries. Our systems are prepared to process these transactions efficiently." Now, here's what you need to know about the timing. The official payment schedule works similar to how your regular benefits are distributed. If your birthday falls between the 1st and 10th of the month, your payment should be deposited this coming Monday. For birthdays between the 11th and 20th, expect deposits on Wednesday. And if your birthday is between the 21st and 31st, your payment should arrive on Friday. For SSI recipients, who typically receive payments on the 1st of each month, all payments are scheduled for Monday, regardless of birthday. VA benefit recipients will follow a similar schedule to Social Security, with deposits aligning with your regular payment date. The Treasury Department has confirmed that over 70 million Americans will receive this payment, with the vast majority being processed through direct deposit. If you typically receive your benefits via direct deposit, that's exactly how you'll get this payment too, no action required on your part. For the roughly 12% of recipients who still receive paper checks, those are being printed and mailed starting tomorrow, but expect a 7-10-day delivery window, depending on your location and postal service efficiency. I reached out to several major banks to get their perspective on handling these incoming payments. A representative from Bank of America confirmed they're fully prepared to process these government payments as soon as they arrive, with no holds or delays. Similarly, Wells Fargo stated they've implemented special procedures to ensure these stimulus funds are made available to customers immediately upon receipt. Credit unions are also ready. The National Association of Federally Insured Credit Unions released a statement saying their member institutions are standing by to ensure these important payments reach members' accounts without delay. It's worth noting that many banks and credit unions have set up special customer service lines specifically for questions about these stimulus payments. If you're concerned about your payment, that's going to be your best resource for information. Let's talk about eligibility. To qualify for this $2,200 payment, you must be a current recipient of Social Security retirement benefits, SSDI, SSI, or VA benefits, not claimed as a dependent on someone else's tax return, have an adjusted gross income under $75,000 for individuals or $150,000 for married couples filing jointly. Unlike previous stimulus payments, dependents do not qualify for additional payments. This is strictly for the benefit recipients themselves. If you started receiving benefits after January of this year, there may be additional verification needed, and your payment could be delayed by up to 2 weeks. The SSA has established a special portal on their website where you can check the status of your payment. I've been speaking with benefit recipients across the country about what this payment means for them. Mary Jenkins from Dayton, Ohio, who relies on Social Security retirement, told me, "This couldn't come at a better time. My heating bill has doubled compared to last year, and I've been putting off some dental work that I really need. This payment will help me catch up on both." James Rodriguez, a disabled veteran from Phoenix, shared, "Living on a fixed income during inflation is brutal. Every trip to the grocery store is a math problem. This payment means I can finally replace my refrigerator that's been barely working for months." These are real people facing real challenges, and while $2,200 may not solve all their problems, it's providing meaningful relief at a critical time. If Monday comes and goes and you don't see the deposit in your account, assuming you qualify for the first wave, don't panic. Here's what you should do: wait 24 hours. Sometimes payments appear the following business day due to processing delays. Check the payment status on the SSA's tracking portal at ssa.gov/stimulus. I'll put the exact link in the description below. If 3 business days pass with no payment, call the dedicated stimulus hotline. Best times to call are early morning or late afternoon to avoid long wait times. Have your Social Security number and banking information ready when you call. The SSA has staffed up their call centers in anticipation of high call volume, but patience will still be necessary. They're expecting over 200,000 calls per day once payments begin. So what does all this mean beyond the immediate relief for benefit recipients? This targeted stimulus represents a shift in how the government is approaching economic support. Rather than broad-based payments to nearly all Americans, this more focused approach aims to help those most vulnerable to economic pressures. Economists I've spoken with have mixed views on the impact. Dr. Michael Farrelly at J.P. Morgan noted, "Targeted relief like this tends to have a higher economic multiplier because these funds are more likely to be spent immediately rather than saved." On the other hand, Dr. Sarah Bloom from the American Enterprise Institute cautioned, "While these payments provide necessary relief, they don't address the underlying structural issues causing fixed-income Americans to struggle." From my perspective, this payment is a necessary stopgap measure, but not a complete solution. The reality is that benefit programs haven't kept pace with actual living costs, especially housing and healthcare. This $2,200 will help millions of Americans catch up on bills, make needed repairs, or simply breathe a little easier for a few months. But it doesn't solve the longer-term challenges. What I find most encouraging is the focus on efficiency in distribution. Learning from previous stimulus efforts, the government has streamlined the process considerably. The use of existing payment systems means most recipients won't have to do anything to receive their funds. That's a significant improvement over earlier pandemic relief efforts where many faced delays and confusion. For the broader economy, injecting roughly $154 billion, that's $2,200 times approximately 70 million recipients, will certainly provide a boost to consumer spending. Retailers, especially those selling necessities, will likely see increased traffic in the coming weeks. However, this is unlikely to significantly impact inflation given the targeted nature of the payments and their one-time status. Some critics have argued that these payments could delay necessary reforms to benefit programs. There's merit to that concern, but the immediate needs of vulnerable Americans shouldn't be held hostage to longer-term policy debates. Both can and should be addressed simultaneously. What's particularly interesting about this payment is the timing. With midterm elections approaching next year, some view this as politically motivated. That may be partially true, but it doesn't negate the genuine need. The question we should be asking isn't about the political calculus, but whether this relief is sufficient and sustainable. So there you have it. Banks across America are prepared to process the $2,200 stimulus payments, with the first wave hitting accounts this Monday for many Social Security, SSDI, SSI, and VA benefit recipients. If you qualify, make sure your direct deposit information is up to date, and keep an eye on your account. Remember to check the SSA portal if your payment doesn't arrive when expected, and don't hesitate to use the dedicated hotline if necessary. This payment won't solve every problem, but it represents meaningful help for millions of Americans who have been struggling with rising costs on fixed incomes. As always, I'll be monitoring this situation closely and will update you if there are any changes to the payment schedule or eligibility requirements. That's what we know for now about these stimulus payments. I hope this information helps you prepare and plan accordingly. If you found this video useful, please hit that like button and subscribe to stay informed about future benefits and economic updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.